Welcome to Arkansas basketball recap. I'm Daniel Price. That's Jacob Price. We're here to break down every Arkansas Razorback basketball game after they happen. Today, we're breaking down Arkansas defeating Troy by a score of 65-49 in an absolute rock fight, slugfest, sloppy, muddy, all the things that you want to say about a game that someone scores 49 points in. And let me get to the positives before we go long about the things you're concerned about. Here's the positives about this. Because one thing that's easy to do is to focus on offense and to criticize offense and to want the game to look sexy. And I like all that stuff. But let's first say that the defense looks pretty good. They did just give up 49 points. And the defense is only going to get better when Jonas comes back because you have the SEC's leading rebounder last year, an all defensive first team guy. Your defense is actually going to even get better once he gets back. And by the way, I don't know what percentage he is of getting back, but he's not that close. I can tell you that. Like, he can't run. He's like, you could tell, like he's got a hitch in his giddy up. Like, he looks uncomfortable, and I'm not even sure what the injury is. I don't know if it's a foot or a hip or what, but like he's not right yet. And
He definitely looks stiff when he's out there.
yeah, he's not right yet. And if Trevor Brazil doesn't twist his ankle, I don't know why you even put him out there. Like, why even risk it? Like, I mean, just let him get better. But Trevor Brazil getting hurt, by the way, also, that's something to be concerned about. It didn't look like it was horrific. I mean, it did look horrific at first, but it looks like it's just a sprained ankle. But yeah, the defense looks good. The defense is good. It's going to probably get better once you get like a real solid anchor in the post in Jonas once you get him back. I'm gonna do a little exercise here to show you that I think the defense is pretty good. Uh, Arkansas is giving up through 3 games. They are averaging giving up 60 points a game. That's I don't know where that ranks. I should have looked. I promise you it's high. Like, that's really good. Um, Maybe you're like, well, maybe these teams are terrible on offense. Maybe they're playing teams that suck on offense. Well, let's look. How many points has Troy scored in the other 2 games it's played? They've scored 84 against Toledo and 78 against New Orleans. They scored 49 against us. Now, I know those aren't as good of teams. They don't have as good of athletes. But what I'm saying is they can score 84 and 78 points in their previous games. They didn't do that against us. What about Lipscomb? Lipscomb, we gave up 60 points, right? Exactly the average that we're giving up to Lipscomb. They've played 3 other games. How many points have they scored? 77, 78, and 79. They scored 60 on us. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the positive. So I just wanted to start there before, like, everyone, like, before we get into probably some like worrisome discussions that all looks good. I mean, it's the data you have, and by the data you have, the defense is really good. Like, like
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas turns you over, they harass you, they make you uncomfortable, and what that does mean is that defense travels. You can always do it, and that's good. And you got to figure out the offense. Um, the offense, especially the first half, is rough. I mean, it's rough. We don't have like a real post guy to throw the ball into to collapse the defense, to get swing outs. Everything has to be sort of dribble drive. Um, and we don't shoot the ball well. Now, we did shoot the ball better this game, which was encouraging. We actually, we actually shot 43% from the 3-point line. We're 10 of 23. I mean, obviously, I'll take that you can do that for the rest of the season, and I'm fine with it. Now, a lot of that is one guy. And turns out that maybe Big Z is our best perimeter shooter.
Like I said, I mean, all of this is still, and I mean, I'm going to say it until about probably the third SEC game or so. It only because we've seen teams, change so much and have such radical, like, good first 6 games and then a terrible middle 10 games and then a good ending 8 games, like whatever it is. So we've seen teams, I mean, all around the country, teams are capable of, you know, making adjustments, players learn, guys get out of funks, all kinds of stuff are possible. This microphone's like trying to droop on me a little bit. But yeah, I don't want to go on start the negative stuff, but are we with the positive breakdown?
Well, I mean, I guess we could also talk about uh, Adu Thiero scores 19 points. He's Arkansas's leading scorer through 3 games. He has 19 points, uh, 7 rebounds. Um, he's right now he's our best player. Like Adu Thiero looks great, and he's gonna be a guy that can go get you something. I mean, he's an energy guy. His defense is also great. Um, Boogie Flan goes for 12. He only took 7 shots, so but he didn't shoot the ball a ton. Um, and then of course, I mean the big thing was Big Z, 22 minutes, 19 points. Goes 6 of 7 from three. I mean, what are you gonna do? He also had 5 blocks. Let me give Big Z a compliment because I know that we talked about him not being like that post defender guy, and I still think if he was like guarding someone that wants to like just bang into him and stuff like that's probably true. But this game, he did a very good job of defending the basket. Uh, he was just down there making things difficult, man. And there was a lot of times where guys got down there and they were like, "No, I'm not doing that. I got to figure something else out." And yeah, so I thought defensively, you don't want him like moving a lot and stuff, but if he's just down there protecting the rim, he does a pretty good job of it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll start with the compliments on Big Z because we actually kind of not really hit on him. We just said I don't think he's that guy that like he's not enough in the post. He's tall, but he's not a prototypical big man. And we basically said he's like what we wished Connor Vanover was going to be, which is
Yeah.
basically better than Connor Vanover, but much better. Um, and yes, he actually does have. And we actually to be fair to us, we did say Big Z is going to play really well and have really good games against certain kinds of teams. And this was one of those teams, although, I mean, uh, he still didn't like dominate in the post. He did it mostly from the perimeter. But even still, like defensively, he's got quick hands, he's got long arms, and he obviously, I mean, he's that big, he can swat all kinds of stuff up high at the rim. But he also, like you said, when they tried to dump a pass around him down low, he got his hands on a lot of low bounce passes that were about to get around him and probably would have resulted in layups because he was doing the thing where he was shading over and helping the dribble driver, and his man is behind him, and they're trying to get the ball behind him, and he disrupted 3 or 4 of those. And he's got quick hands. He's not a bad defensive. I mean, I think he's very much like Brazil in that if he's in good defensive position and you're trying to go right at him, he's got the effort, he's got the body, but he's not got something that I don't think that you can even ever teach someone, which is why it scares me when guys don't have, or I wish that they would have it, which is you either have an instinct for defensive body position and spacing, and it's one of those things. It's a very similar skill to, and this is probably why guys that rack up tons of assists are also get a lot of steals. It's because you see the geometry of the game in your mind, and it's a constant shifting. I mean, it's moving every like every half of second. Where you should be changes slightly
Yeah.
depending on the angles and stuff. And he doesn't have that. Neither does Brazil. And I mean, there was one time particularly where uh I think we even scored, and then they were just dribbling down, and the guy just walked in and got a layup, and I backed it up and looked at it. And if you look at it, not only did he allow himself to get like just his defender just to be right in front of him and do what what I always do whenever someone's dribbling down the lane, and I'm like, oh, I'm boxing out, and I'm setting a moving screen, but it's legal because I'm boxing out my man. You know what I'm talking? Where it's like I get my man behind me and I'm sealing him, and I'm not trying to receive the ball. I'm trying to keep my defender from being able to get over and help. And But not only did he allow a smaller guy to get in front of him and seal him out so he couldn't help, he also let that guy push him into the defender that was defending the guard, and like he set a boxed out screen against his own man and let that guy get a layup. And it was literally just like, you can't let you got to fight over that. I mean, he's
Yeah.
bigger than that guy, and it's just literally he's just not paying attention, and um, that I think bodes potentially, like I said, I hope they all prove me wrong, but I think it bodes poorly for when you get guys that are much more aggressive and much more physical and much more talented. Because if I wanted to be completely cynical about that game, I would say they didn't have nearly the athletes we had. Although this is difficult because for all I know, Troy's a tournament team and they're going to be really good. You know what I mean? It's too early to know how good they are. But they you could argue if Big Z doesn't hit 5 of those threes that we lose this game. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the game is they basically played us even with the exception of we had a guy go off from the three-point line that now, if Big Z can hit, he doesn't have to hit 6 threes a game. If he can hit 3 threes a game consistently, then he is that. I'm not saying he's the player that I would love him to be or the player that I think we actually need, but that is a tool that then can be um, really utilized because if you can consistently hit, we need somebody to hit 3 threes a game. We need a player that's going to average three-pointers, 3 3-pointers, and that means he's going to have a game with 7, and that means he's going to have a game with 1. But he's going to average 3 3-pointers a game. We need that just to stretch the
And
defense out
he is a guy that can kind of get it off almost whenever he
anytime.
want, like whenever he want. By the way, the stroke looks nice.
Yes, no, I
Like
mean he's a
his
good
shot
shooter.
look.
I think he could do that. However, it still needs to be proven. Like I think there's a possibility that that's fool's gold, and he's
Yeah.
going to, you know, hit 3 3-pointers in the next 3 games. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's going to average more like 1.5 a game. He's going to miss 6 of them, but maybe not. Maybe he'll literally shoot that highest shot. Like I do think he's better than Connor Vanover, and I think he can hit those consistently. It's still not ideal because we don't need what we struggle with is down low, boxing out, rebounding, and we don't really need our 3-pointers coming from our biggest player. I would much rather see those shots going in from one of our guards so he could be down low. Now, because the thing is, there is this new hybrid type of big man. Like, I mean, good Lord, guy scored 50 points last night. Wimbe or whatever. What's his name?
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and, onto the Cupo. But those guys, like, if you think that he's some kind of replica of that, it's not. Like those are different players. These are
Yeah.
these freaks of nature that can dribble, drive, shoot fadeaways, dunk it, and he's not that guy. He's a, and I don't think it's optimal to have your 7-footer shooting threes if that becomes like what you mostly use him for.
Yeah.
We need we need defensive rebounding and protecting the rim down there, which he did do. But
Well, I
I
mean, what if he's not playing the 5 and he's kind of more playing the 4 and you got, once you get Jonas back and you could play him and Jonas together.
totally different thing. If Jonas is healthy and he's down there beating guys up and protecting the rim and getting rebounds, and then it's a totally different thing. You have him standing in the corner, stretching the defense. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about the health of our big men,
Yeah.
like because what I'm saying is, I think if you take that game and you throw a couple of SEC big men down there,
Yeah.
we're getting beat up. You know what I mean? And then God forbid he misses 3 of those threes, and now there's nobody down there to rebound.
Yeah.
Brazil's not in the game. Like I mean, you know what I mean? Like
Well,
who's going to be doing it? And
it's just the arrow down there trying to or diving in there. I mean, he led us in rebounding. It probably is going to until Jonas gets here. I mean, he's just the best rebounder we got. I mean, he's the biggest, strongest, most athletic dude on the team, right?
mhm.
I will say this. Another thing, just to dish out a compliment. He only played 9 minutes. I thought Trevor Brazil looked really good in the 9. Like that was the best 9 minutes I'd seen from him in a while. Like he was rebounding and he was like being aggressive at the like. I was kind of bummed that he got hurt because I thought he was really playing well.
he was, and again, not to be the poop in the ice cream,
I
but
mean, dude, he had
I think
five.
I
Trevor
think
Brazil had 5 rebounds in 9 minutes.
and I think those two big men were about to have a really good game because but I'm saying that team didn't
Yeah,
have the kind of player that we
yeah,
are scared of that most SEC teams have. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And maybe we're wrong about this. Like maybe, but I mean, the other thing that's it's not just the Arkansas. It's that college basketball is in swing, and I've been watching games. You know what I mean? I've been watching Kansas and Texas and friggin' Kentucky and these teams. And I might be wrong, especially if you, I mean, but when I watched that Auburn game, I was like, I kind of think those guys are going to mess us up.
Yeah.
Because our like you said, our defense looks okay against not
Mhm.
athletes that Auburn has. Uh, but
I thought I
Auburn's
thought I
defense
thought it
looks
looked I thought it
next
looked
level.
yeah, I thought it looked pretty good against Baylor too.
Um, yeah, our defense wasn't terrible. That was mostly our offense. Um, but I mean, I don't know, dude. Like that offense against Auburn's defense, I'm afraid they're going to.
Yeah.
You know how that can snowball on. It felt, I mean, maybe
Well,
this.
look, it's great that we're like holding teams to 60 points a game, and that's going to go up as you play it. And we're not when you go to the SEC. Um, I didn't do what we're averaging, but I know that 65 points isn't enough. Like in the
Yeah,
SEC, we're gonna have to score more than that.
you need to score unless you're an excellent defensive team, like top tier, you got to get in the 70s.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, a really, really amazing defensive team can consistently maybe beat teams 50 to high 50s. You know what I mean? But probably um not consistent. I don't think our I don't I feel like our defense because we have such good I mean those are NBA players on the perimeter. Those guys can stay in front of guys and they're going to make it tough to make shots. But I don't feel like our defense is it's
No,
not the way
our
it
perimeter defense is really good. Our interior defense we need a banger in there. We gotta be able to we when we face more muscle, we're gonna need, like I said, uh, I think that like if you're a guard and you're coming in driving in the lane and Big Z's down there, that's probably a problem for you. Like like he could take away the dribble drive probably against most teams. I mean, even if it's SEC teams, you're gonna drive. If you're 6'3" and you drive in there and Big Z's down there, you got a problem. Like he's probably gonna swat that thing. I mean, I don't care how high. I don't know if he's. I saw a guy put up a shot with as much arch as you could possibly put on a shot and hope it goes in, and him just pick that thing out of the air. So yeah, like can he take away that? Yeah. The problem is can he take away, a 6'11" guy that outweighs him by 40 pounds that lowers his shoulder and can he do that? Like and that's what
right. And
by the
last
way, and by
night,
the way, no, of course he can't do that. I wouldn't expect him to. It's not shade on him. Like he's not built like that. Like that's what you need Jonas for.
yeah, because the thing that's going to be slightly different is last night what you had is when he would shade over to help the dribble drive, they were having to try to pass it to a generally a lurking 6'4" guy on the
And
on the
our
post
and
and
our
like
and our and our guard collapse help was good. They got their hands on a lot of that stuff. When Z would come over and they try to make that pass, it wasn't there.
right. It's a totally different thing when you have a really dangerous big man standing behind you
Yeah,
and you can either dump it down low or just chuck it up at the rim. They
yeah,
didn't really have that thing where they could just like in that. I mean, he's hard to chuck it. It'd be hard to even get an oop over Big Z probably.
yeah.
But I'm just saying it'll be a little difference when they have bigger bodies in there. I mean, I hope this is not the case, and I probably won't be able to make this accurate. And I probably shouldn't even try because, but something about even when you were reading those like positive defensive stats, and maybe it's just because we're in the fog of this post-election thing or whatever, where everybody was like, "Is it close? Is it not close?" Nobody like knows. There's a Seltzer poll. There's like,
Yeah.
and like depending on what side of that you're on, like a lot of people are like, it feels like how could she win? But they're telling me she can, and maybe it is close. And that the sound, the tenor of our voices right now and the way we're sound the way that the people that were hoping Kamala was going to win. And that's what it sounds like to me, where it's like they are making some good points and they are bringing up some good things like, yes, abortion, women, like this is probably, and like, but it feels like something's not right with this team
Yeah.
as a team. Like something, it doesn't feel like a team, like a normal team of basketball, the way that when I watched, like I said, Auburn, or honestly, I'd say even like the Kentucky Duke game. And I like I said, maybe Duke's not that good. Maybe Duke is weak. Maybe Kentucky, like well, and I mean, all's well that ends well. Maybe at the end, we're standing in the Sweet 16 and they've got 10 losses. But I would say, as the data goes right now, like the feeling of what I feel, I'm like I'm concerned about the makeup of this team, and I mean, they've got great players, but everybody knows, dude, that don't matter. Like they've got to
Yeah.
be able to gel. That it feels like
Well, I think
a
I think you got to know that it's a work in progress for sure. Like, I mean, this
right,
can't be this can't be the finished product. Definitely not.
and if you were, if you had your like, I mean, not. It's not that you should be disappointed. You didn't think that it was going to come out of the oven fully cooked, right? I mean, or like first thing, but uh you wish you wished it would. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
it'd be nice if you had all the pieces too,
it
right?
would be nice if you had all the pieces. It'd be nice if I mean, everybody knows like it'd be just nice if they came out and is like, oh wow, Cal's got those guys flowing and like it looks good. You know what I mean? Like that would be ideal. And what we've seen so far is it's not dispositive. It doesn't mean like we're not going to I mean, obviously there's plenty of talent there, but I do feel concerned because it feels like we've got a lot of the same style of player as far as not that the same style, but like guys that are great one-on-one players. They can really drive the ball. We None of them are excellent shooters, at least not right now. I know I mean historically what's his name should be, but
Yeah.
it hasn't shown up yet. Why
Yeah,
can't I think of anybody's
Davis,
name?
yeah. Yeah, Nelly.
Nelly, yeah. And
Yeah.
um but it, and I will say differently than because this is a similar critique that we made to last year's Musselman team. It felt like he had a lot of one-on-one, just guys that would just take the ball one-on-one, and there wasn't really a good scheme there. Um, but those guys, you could tell those guys were not getting along.
Yeah.
And I mean, now we look back and we realize that like Musselman probably was mailing it in. He was, they were feeding off of his energy, which was his energy was, I'm out of here. And like he didn't have any incentive to overly make them gel together. I mean, he basically it's in his mind, he
Yeah,
knew all these guys are going to
I
be
don't get
scattered to the wind.
I don't get that vibe.
No, they do seem like at least for now, like they are all. I don't sense a lot of frustration or personal animosity like
And
we've
and
kind of
and,
like.
and I don't I thought that sometimes last year Arkansas when that happens, what one of the signs, one of the symptoms of that happening is guys being like, well, this is a mess. I just have to go get mine.
Mhm.
And I don't feel that like these do not seem like you as you said. I guess I don't want people to confuse like being good one-on-one players with that automatically meaning these are selfish players because I don't get that impression from any of them at all. Like I don't think Boogie Fland is selfish. DJ Wagner is probably not selfish enough. The Nelly is like taking 7 shots or something in a game where he averaged 18 points a game last year. Like so, uh, I don't get
No,
that
honestly,
impression either.
it
I don't think they're anyone's out there playing selfish ball or anything like that.
No, I almost feel like it's actually feels like a bunch of guys that have been the number one ball handling, ball dominating guy on all of their high school teams and college teams for the ones that have played college up into this point. And it looks to me like it's a bunch of guys that are willing to defer, but they're trying to figure out how to play in a deferring role. And like, do I need to dominate the ball or like how, what I mean? It feels like almost the opposite, like guys that like are willing to be a piece and they just haven't been a piece before and they haven't quite figured out. And like I said, I mean, one of the reasons I would say my main reasons of concern, like, I mean, if you lay it out, it's like we don't have excellent shooting as of now, with the exception of our 7-footer last night. Um, we don't have great
Hey!
interior.
Boogie made 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's true. Um, we don't have great interior play right now. And I would even say, like, we haven't had. I mean, people have complained that we don't have a true point guard, which I think I'm not that worried about that. But we don't see yet, and this is something they can improve on with hopefully Cal can coach them up, but like there's not great like fluidity to the ball
Yeah.
movement and there's not a person that has proven that like he's really capable of getting the defense on his hip, exploring, and then like dropping that dime on people. I mean, they do it every once in a while, but I'm saying so if you look at those problems, like, so you don't have great like assist numbers, you don't have great post play, and you're not shooting amazing from the perimeter. When you add all that up, it's like they're winning through like sheer willpower of like
Yeah.
being great basketball players and making really tough shots. You know what I mean? And um, I feel like those shots are going to get tougher and tougher as the competition gets
Yeah.
more and more not just tougher, but more meaningful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What
So
you got to hope is that the connectivity increases as well, along with it. That like the more games they play, the more the guys they get back, that you're going to have that chemistry increase. I will say this about Boogie. That guy is hard to steal the ball from. Um,
yeah,
I mean, that handle is pretty good. There was one time, yeah, he had like three guys, and I don't know how he came out of there with the ball still. Uh, he's that handle's pretty good, and so I think I think he is the guy to take on that, to be that point guard guy, to get to the teeth of the defense and drop those dimes and stuff. And you got to remember, he just turned 18, so like, hopefully he's gonna kind of figure that out as he sees the level of competition, and he's gonna get better and better. Which of course he is, right? Like of course, all the
yeah,
young guys you assume are going to get better, and not that they're not good now. Boogie's really good, but I think I think in 2 months, you'll be like, oh, like he's really progressing, because he's going to get. This is the thing. He's going to have lots of opportunity to get better,
yeah.
because my guy is playing minutes. Like I could guarantee you that.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing is they did look tired
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter. Like in the last 5 minutes, it was a good thing they'd hit those 3 pointers and gotten that lead. Because not that they gave it up, because the other team looked tired too, but
Dude,
you're
there's
going to
no
get a lot more.
a game
You're going
like
to get a
that.
lot more tired.
Yeah, but a game like that too, you're like, that's those I've played in games like that. You've played in games like that. That is an exhausting game. Like where you're just like, it's just guys on the floor, and like it's just
It's
a
not gonna change though.
no,
It's not gonna get less tiring. I mean,
no, it's not.
maybe there's some, SEC team that's gonna play, friggin'
Well,
shoot
if
them.
you hope you get Jonas, and you get, in Brazil plays more than 9 minutes when he's not hurt. And if you have your full complement of guys, you hope you can get more rest too. Like you're able to shuffle it in and out more. Now, it kind of looks like Boogie and Thierry are going to play a lot of minutes, whether they like it or not. And that's fine. I mean, lots of teams have guys that play big, huge minutes. That's typical, but you better get ready for that conditioning, dude, because you're gonna be on the floor a lot. Dude, by the way, it was fun to watch Big Z hit, like, just go on a heater. And you knew it was a heater, because I don't know, on those on the six makes, it was 6 or 7. On those six makes, did that ball hit the rim?
No, I mean he's shooting it. He shoots it with a lot of arc for the guy that big. That's gotta be kind of weird too. It's like you shooting a free throw with like crazy arch
Yeah.
because
I mean, that thing,
from
like a couple of them, I was like, oh, I guess did he make that or airball it? Because like that net didn't move.
yeah, no, I mean he had it last night, man, and there's that definitely wasn't a fluke. You know what I mean? Like he can
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I just don't know if he'll get that many opportunities.
Well,
That
I did listen to the post game, and Cal did say, look, the reality is we had to make more threes. And he's like, and I told the assistant coaches, probably we need to draw some stuff up. And he's like, right now, we probably need him shooting 5 threes a game, which I'm fine with. Like, I let him shoot
no,
5.
like I said, I agree. I mean, I'm saying if he can hit three a game, that's going to be a very useful tool. Like I said, it's not. I still say it's not ideal. You'd rather your
Well, it's
guards be
because
shooting those shots.
it's also going to pull, because you can't. What do you like? You're going to pull someone big out of the lane, because like if you have a guard guarding him. He's literally just, I mean, what are you? You can't do that, right? So that is the nice thing because we do have guys that can get to the basket. If Z's knocking down shots, he's gonna drag a big defender out there because you can't put a small defender out there on him.
I would.
I mean, you might try
If it
to.
were if it were me, because he's not like an Antetokounmpo or Wimbe or whatever these guys' names are.
I just feel like, I mean, by I guess we have to
Well,
define
what I
small,
mean
but
is
like he's gonna shoot that right over the top of someone that's too small.
maybe if it were me, if he was on the perimeter, I'd switch a small guy onto him, and because I don't, and I'd be like, play up in his basket because I actually think he's not the kind of shooter that wants to catch it, and even if he could get the shot over a guy, hit like a pressed fadeaway with a
Yeah,
guy up in your face. I think he needs to catch it, and I think he can shoot over anybody who's trying to dive out. That's not
yeah,
going to help me. You're not going to get to it. But I don't think that he's going to be able to put the ball on the floor and make that little guy pay, or you know what I mean. Like I would put a small forward up in his business if he kept doing that. I mean, I hope they don't do that, but
yeah,
I don't think that he could. Uh, I don't think he can shoot over a guy that's in his basket on the catch. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
He does shoot it pretty high though.
maybe.
Like his release isn't down here. I mean, it's pretty. It's all wrist on that.
Yeah,
Like
no, I just think if you make him like uh uncomfortable. Yeah, there's some guys that can just shoot a three like from any angle, any position, falling over on one leg, and I don't think he's that guy. I think he needs his feet set and he needs to be catch the ball and put it in. And what I'm saying is, if I were them, I'd have a guy. Not that this is nothing, because if you have to have a guy up in a guy on the catch, like
yeah,
not leave him at all, not help at all. I mean, dude, at this level of basketball, everybody's got to be available for help. These guys are too good.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like they're going to break you down, and everybody has to be available to slide over. And
yeah,
if a guy's going to have to play anybody that's going to have to play a 3-point shooter up in his jersey and not be able to help there, because if you do help and he catches it, if you're like I said, if you're diving out, it's no, he's going to be able to hit that. If you can't help, that's still helpful
yeah,
because you just drive to his
yeah,
side.
yeah.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
for
And
sure, for sure.
so
Hey,
it's not like
the
that.
yeah, because I mean, yeah, if you're saying we'll go one on one, I'll take our guards going one on one all day if they're
And
gonna
by the way,
give you
I
help.
wouldn't do that until I'm saying if he turns out that he is that money, like
Yeah,
where
like
he's
he's like
literally like
he's gonna shoot
hitting
45.
five a game.
Yeah, he's shooting
Yeah,
45% or something.
like I would put someone on him and be like, well, we're going to make whoever the dribble driver is make a tough two rather than give up this three.
Yeah,
But I'd still make him prove it for another game or two.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Um,
All right.
but
Well, final question: is your player of the game a Duthiero with 19 points and those 7 rebounds, or is it Big Z with those 19 points and those 5 blocks?
maybe Co.
Okay, yeah. I mean, those were the two guys, right?
Yep. Yeah, they really bailed us out. I mean, really, the game pivoted not just on those 3-pointers. There was like that one. I mean, it was like a
Yeah,
what
where
3-point game.
Thiero had like 2 dunks back to back, and then kicked out, and then Boogie hit that three in the corner. Like that was
Boogie had a steal, and that turned into a three. And I mean, it was literally a 7-point. It took a 3-point lead to a 10-point lead, and they never really looked back after that.
yeah,
They just kind of kept that lead. Um, but yeah, I would say to keep it fun. I mean, like I said, all of this is too early. You never know what could happen. There's plenty of talent on this team. There are concerns, but I would say if you're interested in the Kentucky fans that are, for Schadenfreude sort of looking over and hoping bad things for Calipari. Just so, I mean, which by the way, I would be. I'm looking. I mean, I don't want Musselman to actually like. This is in the spirit of playful athletic competition. I don't want bad things for Musselman and his family. Obviously, I hope he has success and is happy. But I mean, I can't help it when SEC comes on. I'm hoping they lose for some like, and that probably will change in like that will change if we have success once our
yeah,
success is proven. But for right now, I mean, yeah, dude, I mean, my man just left me, and I'm not gonna be happy about him getting a new bay that's like freaking sexier than me. So right now, I'm hoping that my new man is more successful than yours. And the same thing with Kentucky. Kentucky fans are looking at, us, and they are not rooting for us to do well. I mean, especially because we're in the same conference. And I would say right now that it's too early, but I would say Kentucky fans have a tiny little smirk in this corner of their mouth that's like they're starting to go like I mean obviously too early, but if you want things to play out, the first step is sort of in your direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like because they're gonna Kentucky fans are gonna be like, I told you, he gets these young guys, they don't know how to gel and blah blah, and he's gets
yeah,
great
yeah, yeah.
players
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be.
he under coaches great players. You
It's
know what I
gonna
mean?
be. Well,
And
they're gonna be like, hey, well, have fun with your NBA factory.
yeah,
Uh, which, by the
yeah.
way,
So
other good news, man. We got recruiting class for the next year is going great. So there's that. Uh, we got more dudes coming in. So he's living up to that. He hasn't, if you were wondering if can he get players like, oh, it's got to be easier to recruit to Kentucky than Arkansas, which fair enough. So if you're wondering if he was still going to be able to get the guys, that that's not going to be an issue. Apparently, he's still getting the guys.
yeah, and like I said, this story will be written over the course of 3 years. Even
Yeah,
if this season was an abject disaster, that won't be necessarily the end of the story. Although, I mean, like I said, it'll be definitely gloating rights for them for the time being. But um, I mean, I like that. I mean, even though it's painful, I like the added drama of this, like, little
yeah.
rivalry thing. And like I said, I mean, we knew it had the potential. It has the potential to be delicious, and it has the potential to be really annoying in the comment section of whatever you do. You know what I mean? Like uh and right now they've got a little bit of something to be happy about. So what are you gonna
Yep.
do?
Yeah, we will see. We'll see in February.
Yeah, it's not like if it turns around and they don't make the tournament and we're in the Sweet 16,
Dude. I think
we
both
we
the
ain't gonna be up in that comment section being like, "Wow, you guys really made a smart decision there, letting that Hall of Fame head coach go, huh?" You know what I mean? But
yeah. Well,
they're
I
gonna do
think
the same
I, I
thing
think
if
I
it's the
think
other
I
way
think
around.
I think it's likely that both these teams are in the tournament. I do think that that's more likely than not.
I hope so. Like I said, I mean, dude, the SEC is brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna get 10 teams in the tournament this year. Like or something. Like there's so many good teams.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, we'll see.
Well, right now, Auburn. I mean, Alabama was the preseason, pick. Right now, Auburn looks like the best team in the SEC.
It's I mean, it's
It's
so
early
early,
though.
but that game did look that game was I mean, it was fun to watch, but that was just a freaking dogfight.
Yeah, yeah. With Houston.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That was. I mean, I know. Hey, Kentucky. I know you just got done beating Duke or whatever. I'm just saying, eyeballs looking at stuff. I'm just saying that Auburn just looks like a freaking problem.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I mean, Duke I mean, Duke had them most of that game and they really made some bonehead decisions in the end of that game and let that thing slip away. Not I mean, all props to Kentucky. They balled out too. That game was pretty competitive, but they really did make some knucklehead decisions in the final couple of
Well,
possessions.
I guess what it was is that like, um, Kentucky and Duke looked like two really good teams playing, and it was a good game. It was a fun game to watch and stuff. But like that Auburn Houston game felt like a Final Four game, dude. Like it felt crazy.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, man.
Well,
Well,
let's start breaking down the whole every college game that happens all week.
yeah, yeah. Not gonna do that. Uh, Hogs don't play this weekend, so we'll be back next week after we beat Texas in football. Uh,
Yeah. Oh man.
so
Honestly, guys, like I need something good to have. It's been a little bit rough for Arkansas. I mean, like the Calipari hire and excitement is really, I mean, all we have had because the baseball season was awesome, ending in disappointment. The basketball season last year was a punch in the nuts. And this football season has been a little roller coaster of
Oh, dude, it's just been
suck. I mean, it's been, oh, we're terrible. Oh, maybe we're not terrible. Oh no, we are terrible. Yes. I mean, they
they'll probably beat
obviously
that.
you're gonna.
They'll probably beat Texas.
I mean, probably they beat Tennessee. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not that they're. That's they could win. They could literally beat Texas, or they could lose by 40. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
could beat Texas and then go lose to Missouri by 35.
yeah. I mean, it's wild. But so I mean, I don't have any expectations for the football team at this point. But I mean, it would be awesome if we could do that. But I wouldn't expect
Hey,
it.
Jonas, go get in a cryo like a freaking whatever chamber, go take as many ice baths. I need you back for Thanksgiving, bro. Like that's all I'm saying. Like you got a couple weeks.
Oh, dude, we need him for SEC play so bad.
I need you for Illinois on Thanksgiving Day. I need you to do what you got to do, man. Essential oils. I don't know, like whatever. Try it all.
Stem cells,
Like whatever you got to do, man.
crystals, voodoo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do it all. Do it all, man. Because we got to get you. We got to get you out there. All right, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do this again after the next game next week.
All right. See you
All right.
guys.
All right. See you.